Hi, I'm Tracey Hudson, and I just thought it would be a good idea to record this update for you as you're a HR department client. This shouldn't be too long, maybe 5–10 minutes or so, but it's all stuff you need to know as a business owner or someone in charge of HR in your business, so stick with me. Okay, these are the things I'm going to cover, the important bit being the key things that are happening in April that you need to be aware of. New pay amounts, right, these are the changes to minimum pay which happen every year. Family related statutory pay rates, those aren't just maternity and paternity, don't forget that includes adoption, shared parental leave and parental bereavement pay as well. The changes to compensation limits. Okay, if one of your employees takes you to an employment tribunal and you lose, we do not accept the possibility of a loss. If you're one of our clients, we do not lose. But it's interesting to know that these limits are increasing. I'm not going to read them all out, and if you want a copy of these slides, then just let me know and I'll send them to you. So now I'm going to talk briefly through the changes that are happening from April, as you can see listed here. Rolled up holiday pay. Okay, this change only applies on leave years starting on or after 1st of April 2024. Holiday pay is actually really complex, and for the clients we have where we know that this will impact you, then we will have been in touch already. But if you're unsure, just call the team and we can talk it through. This is quite a significant change at the moment, flexible working. Employers need to work for you for 6 months before they can request flexible working, but this change means that they can request flexible working from day one of employment with you. The rule has changed also so that they can bring a new request every 6 months. But in reality, I don't think that this really matters, because when people have a way of working that they're happy with, then they aren't going to want to change it again in 6 months. So we're not going to worry about that. The time that you have to respond to a request is reduced, and there are specific reasons for rejecting a request. So make sure you talk to us if you get a flexible working request so we can guide you through it. The other thing is that the need for employees to explain the effect of the proposed change or how that should be dealt with has also been removed. So it generally makes it much easier for an employee to request flexible working. You might see a few more of these, maybe not. Okay, the Paternity Leave Amendment Regulations 2024 are effective from the 6th of April, and you will get much shorter notice than previously. Again, though, in reality, when someone's expecting a baby, they tend to plan quite far ahead, so I don't think this is really going to be an issue for you. The redundancy protection changes. These changes go a step further to protect women from the start of their pregnancy. So if you are in a situation where you are considering making any redundancies or changes in your workforce and one of your employees is pregnant, then call us, because you won't be familiar with the new rules. And these stay in effect for 18 months roughly from when the baby is born. So you need to make sure you track these dates, because we will be asking you about that when planning for redundancies. The Carers Leave Act, I'm not sure is going to have a huge impact, but you need to be aware that if someone requests time off to care for a dependent, then they have the right to have a week off. It is unpaid, so I don't think this is going to be a common request. If you want to postpone it, that's an option, but talk to us first, because you need to have a strong business case for postponing the time off. Okay, these are upcoming changes that are expected further down the line in 2024. Worker protection. So this amendment of the Equality Act will come into force, placing a greater duty upon employers to take a proactive approach to demonstrate that they've taken steps to prevent sexual harassment in the workplace. And we'll be able to advise you as we get closer to when that's coming into force on what you would need to do. Predictable terms and conditions. This act gives workers, including agency workers, the statutory right to ask for a more predictable working pattern after they've worked for you for 6 months. And this has got to be dealt with in a reasonable manner by employers. So again, call us so we can tell you what's reasonable. Regarding tips, it is expected that this act will come into force affecting hospitality businesses, hairdressers and personal service companies. And this requires that 100% of tips are paid to staff before the end of the month in which the tips were made. This includes tips made by bank card. It's also going to be necessary for employers to have a written tip distribution policy. So if that applies to you, get in touch and we can help you with that. The statutory code of practice is currently being drafted, so not urgent, but one to be on your radar if you're in the hospitality industry in particular. TUPE. This change stops the need to elect representatives for collective consultation for businesses with fewer than 50 people and transfers affecting less than 10 employees, allowing businesses to consult directly with the affected employees. This is great news. We like this one. We are happy. It's always more practical and appropriate to deal with employees directly in TUPE scenarios, which this allows us to do. So we like this one. This is good for small businesses. Neonatal care. Employees will have a day one right to take up to 12 weeks leave where a child who is 28 days or younger is admitted to hospital for care for a continuous period of 7 days or more. Employees may be entitled to neonatal care pay as well. I mean, in small businesses, you'd probably allow this time anyway. This is going to be an awful situation, and it's likely to only be the fathers making this request, as the mothers will probably be on maternity leave anyway. Hopefully you'll never have an employee who needs to rely on this. So more to come on all of those, but they're not enforced yet, so just telling you so that they're on your radar, really. If you've got any questions or want to know more about any of this, then please get in touch with me or the team, and we're happy to talk any of it through with you. Hopefully you found it helpful, and thank you for sticking with me right to the end.